Hello Substreamers and welcome back to Substream. In this video I'm going to be talking about what can go wrong for your business if you try and replace humans with AI. And I have some actual case studies starting with Klarna. Now, some of you may know Klarna from buying stuff online. It's a Swedish fintech firm that basically lets you pay for stuff in installments. Now, a few years ago, they started building the rails to go all in on AI, let's say. And so they've replaced much of their customer service team and systems with chatbots. It backfired, of course, otherwise I wouldn't be using them as a case study for this video. Now, it really affected service quality and basically customers were not satisfied. It's damaged their reputation in a massive way, and now they're actually rehiring human agents. Now their CEO, he's called Sebastian Shematkovsky. I had to go and check the pronunciation of that one. He acknowledged and accepted that overemphasis on cost cutting was what led to this kind of emphasis of AI integrations, and I would say that's pretty much what led to the poor quality of service, and it has reiterated to the company the need of human interaction for customer satisfaction. That's pretty much the crux of this video. Now, they are rehiring a lot of remote and contract-based roles, and apparently are actually rehiring for more positions than they fired in the first place. So the damage that this has done to the company is so great. Perhaps that's one way of seeing it, that they have to hire more people to undo it. Or the other thing is perhaps the company just continues to grow, but the truth is they are hiring more than they thought. Now, it's thought that they fired about 800 customer service agents to replace them with AI. And, you know, you have to think the cost of severance, the wasted cost or lost cost of training all of those people, plus the huge AI system that they had to pay to build must have cost millions, could be in the tens of millions, who knows. Now, what I also want to get into in this video is that I think this is going to be a huge trend, not just seeing like huge companies move towards AI automation, but seeing it backfire, seeing them backtrack, and basically them coming to the realization that humans prefer to do business and speak with other humans, and that although AI can have these massive gains in productivity, it's not human, and human to human interactions are going to benefit in the long run from the integration of AI not working. And that's such a roundabout way of going to the conclusion that just human agents are the best option we have. So that's the story in a nutshell, guys, but I think it kind of overlooks the more controversial, scandalous and darker story, and that's why I'm going to ask you now, stick around, please watch the whole video, because these case studies may change your perspective, how you feel about AI. But that's because Klarna's incident or experience is not isolated. Several other massive organizations are going through the same realization, starting with IBM. Okay, so back in 2023, the tech giant that is IBM basically announced this aggressive push towards AI human resources, or HR, and that led to the layoff of about 8,000 people, mostly of course from HR. Now, it was described as a strategic move driven by this kind of explicit goal of streamlining operations. You can just underscore the word efficiency, basically. They wanted to cut costs. They felt that their spending was bloated, as most companies do, and so they deployed this AI program called Ask HR, and the kind of aim was to automate massively repetitive tasks, reduce headcount, boost efficiency, and overall improve their massive HR department. Now, unfortunately, this didn't work. It didn't go to plan. They fired too many people. And as a result, they basically had these massive gaps in the company that adversely affected IBM. It just really hit productivity and quality of service the hardest, especially within the HR function. Now, there were so many perceived benefits of automation that were just quickly offset by the failure of the whole program. Come 2024, they basically sat down, I guess all these head honcho suit guys in the boardroom, and said, guys, we gotta fix this. And so they quietly started rehiring HR staff. This story sounds a lot like Klarna, right? Well, that's what happened. And they basically diverted all of that money that they'd saved using automation to have to rehire HR people and hire those skills that AI simply couldn't do. Now, I feel when I look at this IBM case, it pretty much exemplifies just how critical human interactions, human to customer interactions are, and that's basically is the role of HR, is to provide the human part, right? The human resources. To replace that with AI is absolutely bizarre. I think there's other departments that probably more opportune, but perhaps they saw HR as the least complex. And so, yeah, IBM, their whole AI HR scheme, massive failure, massive waste of money, and resulted in what some experts in AI call the productivity paradox, which is basically where, well, from what I know, is basically where the initial gains that you get from integrating AI are kind of undercut or replaced or lost by the loss in efficiency, the loss of quality, the loss of service, the loss of productivity. So it's kind of, if you want to imagine it as a shape, it's a bit of a bell curve. You have this initial surge of benefits and then a quick and sharp decline. Klarna and IBM exemplify that. Are you ready to talk about the scary owl? Scary owl. Yes, I said scary owl. Hoot hoot. Yes, I mean like the bird. Probably you know by now I'm talking about Duolingo, the world's most popular language learning app, and its mascot, the big green owl, which randomly was killed off a few months ago. I don't know if they've continued that storyline, but I'm going to talk about something else. It's about this ambitious AI first policy, which was an epic fail. I nearly swore there, but I didn't. It was an epic fail because when you're talking about languages is a human to human thing, right? And so they basically tried to get rid of or quietly fire a lot of the content creators who make the courses for the site, and a lot of them are just contract workers. Some of them are on full-time, part-time, but a lot of them are more like contractors, freelancers, things like that. Now, it didn't work. I'm going to tell you why. Back in early 2024, they fired loads of these content creators for their site, and what they did was they used AI instead, and they rolled out about 148 AI generated courses. And apparently, I didn't play them, but apparently they were not very good. And so people not very happy about it, and they saw this aggressive pivot as a way to kind of just capitalize on users, which it was, right? They were trying to make efficiency and profit and productivity gains. But it didn't work, and it's just another case study where it doesn't work to replace human workforce with AI. Now, there will be instances where replacing humans with AI will work. This is another case where it just completely backfires. Now, there was massive backlash from users, as you could expect. And this is a website that's been around for maybe 10, 15 years, platform and app, everything, and it has a really strong community. And this is a community where they really help each other. When somebody doesn't quite understand some nuance with language, they really do come together to help educate one another. If you kind of make humans or human-to-human interaction less valuable on the side by prioritizing AI, what you're telling people is that they are second-class citizens on your platform. And that didn't work. And this huge backlash turned into an online campaign from within the community, grassroots campaign, that basically said, hire linguists, stop using AI, right? Hire linguists, stop using AI. That was the thing. And even employees from Duolingo were joining in this campaign and saying they felt uneasy with the shift and direction that it was taking. Now, following this criticism, my actual personal business hero, CEO of Duolingo, also the inventor of Capture and loads of other stuff. He's an incredible Guatemalan American businessman. He's called Louis von Ahn. And he basically came out and he said, we're going to backtrack. It was a mistake. And we're not trying to replace people, but we actually continuing to hire just as we were before. We were just trying something new. And unfortunately, that thing that they tried that was new did so much damage to Duolingo's reputational brand that it may take years for them to recover what was lost in the process. Now, what perhaps really went wrong here was that they replaced the wrong people and they communicated it really poorly. I think some companies can have massive gains by using AI, but I want to go back to this saying that I've heard so many times and which I think is quite true is your job will not be replaced by AI. Your job will be replaced by somebody who knows how to use AI, right? I've heard this many times, and this notion will not always remain true, but it's mostly true for now, because what we're seeing is when your job is replaced by AI, it doesn't quite work out, right? Because AI can't replace a full human yet. There will be a day when it comes, but right now it's a bit of an operational hazard to try. But companies must try, they must take risks, because it's risks that give them the gains that shareholders want to see. They want to maximize shareholder value, as they say. Now, beyond reputation damage and damage to the loyalty of the community and the brand, I do think this will be a fairly quick repair for Duolingo. They just have to double down on community-driven features and engage the community more for their content. And so, this isn't the be-all and end-all for them. They just need to continue being human-centric and human-created and curated, instead of going to AI to try and make language courses, because there's already going to be dozens, if not hundreds, of apps that are already doing it. And next, let's take a little trip through the golden arches, of course, McDonald's. Now, McDonald's, massive company, billions and billions, they have the power, the influence, the resources to try and integrate AI in an intelligent way. But even a company of McDonald's size didn't manage to do it effectively. Yes, it backfired even for them. Now, they did this big trial a couple of years ago in the US where they tried to replace drive-through staff with a AI operated system in about 100 different locations. Guys, it didn't work. Now, of course, McDonald's had pretty good intentions. They wanted to improve overall efficiency by using AI. Doesn't every company that integrates AI, right? Now, it just didn't work. And the reason that it didn't work is because the quality of order taking was not as high as humans. Now, if humans, let's say, have a 99% accuracy when it comes to taking orders through the drive-thru, and AI has a 98% accuracy, that 1% difference is absolutely massive in the fast food industry. Now, McDonald's didn't explain precisely what went wrong with the order taking, but they did say that it was severe enough, or the numbers were big enough, that they had to scrap the entire AI initiative, which, is what it is. I think it's better to hire humans. What we don't want is a massive firing just because we can use AI. Doesn't mean we always should. Now, a lot of people think working in fast foods, a really simple job, anyone can do it. That's why they hire teenagers. That's why you don't need a degree to work there. But it still takes thought and energy and human resources. You still need people. They've proven that. Robots not as good as people when it comes to working in fast food. And basically, even in an industry or a role or a setting that seems straightforward, we need people. Well, perhaps. I think this technology is going to get really good, really fast, and it's going to really shock us just how fast AI gets integrated into the, let's say, server, hospitality, restaurant, fast food space. Now, my personal opinion is that, the tech just wasn't there. It wasn't ready yet. Now, if you try to do it again, even just 1 or 2 years later, I think we've come on leaps and bounds. I think they'll be able to do it. So, I mean, you can take that sentiment and say, where will we be in 1 year from now, in 2 years from now? Should we wait? Should we build now? Should we have built a year ago? It's really difficult when it comes to these tech companies to time things, because they're not just dealing with their own internal desires, ambitions, and pressures, they're also dealing with their competitors, who are always trying to get one step ahead. For Klarna, it was the impersonal nature of the layoff, plus the miscommunication of the new AI. Also, you could say the robotic nature of their new AI customer service that really upset users. And that's kind of, those three things is why it significantly dented its reputation. For Duolingo, the issue again was miscommunication, and in how they translated this shift in design from UGI to AGI to their community, and such a strong community, and that, you know, resulted in a backlash and campaign from their community, from their employees, and forced their CEO into a public statement basically explaining that they weren't going to go down the AI route much further. IBM admitted that as a result of their failed AI campaign, they had to hire more staff than they actually fired. The same was true of Klarna. And McDonald's had to scrap an entire project that was a lot of work, a lot of planning, a lot of resources, and just completely get rid of it in over 100 locations. Big epic fail. For me, I would say that these cases vividly illustrate the impact of human layoffs in favor of AI automation. Basically, that translates into a significant kind of an rapid reputational damage that's very, very, very hard to repair once that damage has been done in the first place. You got to say, like, brand image, user loyalty, trust, confidence, confidence from investors. So many different things are impacted by a failed AI campaign. This is a sensitive issue for the public. Society are concerned. Society are people. People don't want to lose their jobs to AI. So anytime a company announces plans to replace humans with AI, there is going to be negativity surrounding it. And when those plans fail and the AI campaigns don't work, there is going to be celebrations from people, because ultimately jobs should be filled by people, not by robots. Talent deserves to work, and customer bases deserve to have human to human interactions. Now, to conclude, what I want to say is that I think some companies need to consider their social license to operate within the realms of AI, because I think there's a bit of a blind race towards AI efficiency that completely omits to account for how humans see and feel about the brands that they use and interact with. Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I crazy in saying that? Think about the brands that you love, the ones that you use regularly. Are you happy when they fire people to use AI just because they believe it will get more efficiency, better profits? No, of course not. You want these companies to value humans just as much as you do. You want the brands to actually care, not just pretend to care and then go down this post-capitalist AI like nightmare, and then have to do and then when it backfires have to do a reversal and try and fix it all. It's so messy. I think there needs to be a lot more thought and due diligence when big companies especially try to integrate AI. And a final note, if companies really want to build trust and confidence with their users, their customers, what they really need to do is to, I guess, publicly address concerns about the evolving job market, the changing workforce, and about the kind of mass unemployment that AI could create. Companies that come out now and say, we're not going to replace jobs with AI, I feel like they're going to get a real boost in loyalty and confidence, that the companies who are coming out and saying, we're going to fire people and use AI, are going to lose, right? They can take some of that market share, some of that power, some of that faith, and win customers from their rivals just by simply doing the right thing. And now, look, I've worked in AI. I really like AI. I think AI is incredible, but there's a time and a place. Guys, thank you so much for watching Substream. I'm Joseph, your presenter. If you enjoyed this and you want to hear more takes on tech and culture and the likes, scroll down, hit subscribe, and we'll come up on your feed very soon. Also want to say a thank you because we hit 500 subs recently, and that was a good feeling. We've been chasing that for a while. So thank you so much. See you next time. Bye for now.